You actually married your one-night stand. Tell me about that.
I did. We're coming up on our 29th anniversary, actually. When I was 25, I moved across the country to go to business school, and knew I was going to be in Philadelphia just for a couple of years, no longer, and decided that the last thing I needed was to get emotionally entangled with someone. But the very first day, I spotted my husband, my now husband, and it was like, boom. I thought he was so cute, and he looked different. He was a little edgy. Those other business school guys were a lot more preppy at the time. This was the 80s. And we wound up being in the same friend group, and I got to know him a little bit better, and I really liked him. I liked him more and more all the time, but I perceived that I was squarely in the friend zone. I had a few flings. I knew that he had had a few flings. And then one day in March, months after I'd first met him, he had agreed to DJ a party for me, and I was returning his music. And in those days, that meant I carried an armload of LPs up to his place. And he had never indicated any interest in me whatsoever. But one minute we were talking, and the next minute he lunged. And long story short, I spent the night, and I was, my stomach was doing flip-flops. I was so happy. I thought, this is it. I'm getting with this guy. And then I saw him around, and he wasn't awkward or rude, but we were clearly back to friend zone. And I finally decided I really needed to lay it on the line. I really liked him, and I thought, it's pretty clear he's not interested, but I just have to relieve myself of this burden. So I cornered him outside the library and told him I wanted to have a word with him, and he looked mildly panicked. And I told him that I liked him and would like to spend more time with him. And he kind of kicked the ground with his toe and cleared his throat and said, "I'm sorry, but I don't think so." So that was that. It was time for me to get over him, and I set about to do that. But then about another month went by, and we were out with a group of friends sitting at a big table, drinking and laughing together, and he kind of interlaced his fingers with mine. I was really surprised. So that was round two. And we, sort of just picked up the pace a little bit, separated for the summer. He came up to visit me in New York over the summer for a weekend, and that was it. We've been inseparable since. And interestingly, we never really discussed the weird way in which we got together. But I think what was critical was that we were both ultimately open to a serious relationship, and that's why it could happen.